Hidden microphones, midnight phone calls, and a rose planted where no camera was supposed to be. Here's how the Prince and Princess of Wales quietly tightened their grip on Buckingham Palace in one scorching July. He leaned toward me across the lacquered table in Kensington, lowered his voice, and let the sentence detonate between us. They're already acting like king and queen, only the crown paperwork's missing. That whisper landed on the 1st of August, precisely the moment the Wales's team hit post on their monthly rewind. And if you know what to listen for, that 3-minute montage is less a highlight reel and more a flashing red light that the House of Windsor has begun an unannounced power transfer drill. The clip opens with William's 2-year anniversary video for Homewards, his muscular 5-year plan to bulldoze homelessness out of Britain. Publicly, it's charity; off-camera, courtiers call it the Prince's rehearsal for national leadership. Funding funnels straight from Silicon Valley donors who normally wouldn't answer a Buckingham phone call. In less than 800 days the project has banked £31 million in pledges, and senior Treasury aides, yes, the government bean counters, quietly plugged its pilot data into next year's housing white paper. William's voice in that tape is confident, statesmanlike, almost prime ministerial. One palace official admitted he watched the draft and muttered, "That's our future king's first policy video." Cut. The screen blooms green. Catherine, eyes bright, steps barefoot into the RHS Wellbeing Garden at Colchester Hospital, planting a blush pink Catherine's rose in soil no journalist expected her to touch. The visit was off diary, arranged hours beforehand, the media tipped off only after the Range Rover was safely back on the M11. Why the stealth? Because, according to my source in the Royal Press Office, a senior mental health tsar had begged the palace for a morale missile to distract staff from grim NHS budget headlines. The princess agreed in minutes, ordered the team to keep cameras minimal, and delivered a photo so perfect, delicate hands, hospital backdrop, that national papers splashed it across Tuesday front pages within an hour, bumping a cabinet resignation down the news stack. That, friends, is soft power served horticulturally. Fast forward 6 days. Paris, Élysée Palace courtyard quivering in the July heat. The French state banquet. Catherine arrives in Dior red, a lotus flower tiara blazing under chandelier light. William's dress uniform catches the flashguns, but his gaze never leaves the president's ear. His talking defense budgets, says a staffer who hovered 2 chairs away. Again, not in the official notes. What is in the notes? The Foreign Secretary briefing that dropped on the internal system at 3:17, praising the prince's clear grasp of AUKUS logistics after a side-table conversation with France's Armed Forces Minister. Translation: his easing into Charles's shoes on international security while the king's oncologist measures white blood cell counts back in London. Now, the children. Wimbledon men's final, George in a trim navy suit mirroring his father, Charlotte clapping hard enough to shake her bracelet. Their smiles look spontaneous, they were anything but. A palace aide told me the siblings sat through a 20-minute public composure rehearsal in the morning, when to laugh, when to whisper, which camera light means look left, wave lightly, then turn back to the match. The lesson stuck. Within hours, #FutureKing trended on British Twitter, engagement up 54% over baseline. 2 nights later, the women's Euro quarter-final, same siblings, louder roar, double the cameras. The children are now carefully spaced chess pieces on the royal board, moved forward 1 square at a time until they're UN ignorable. Prince Louis, naturally, refuses all stage directions, and that is precisely why Kensington released a 30-second clip of him upending a picnic hamper on the lawn to celebrate George's 12th birthday. "Let Lou be Lou," Catherine allegedly told the comms chief, his our chaos unicorn. The strategy paid off. The video clocked 22 million views in 48 hours, outranking every official coronation post since May. Chaos sells, Louis delivers. By month's end William turned deadly serious. World Ranger Day. A somber video message, gaze glassy, jaw tight, 1,400 rangers killed in the past decade, 1 every single week. No palace backdrop, just a bare wall and an audible swallow. Rangers across 5 continents cut the clip into their own social feeds before UK breakfast time. Inside Buckingham, senior aides flagged the recording as William's Diana Minefield moment, the instant a personal passion becomes a global signature. String these vignettes together and you start to see the hidden storyboard. Each scene looks benign, charity, gardening, tennis, tiaras. But overlay the king's medical chart and the pattern clarifies. Every royal duty that drains Charles's stamina slides seamlessly into William and Catherine's hands, filmed, hashtagged, monetized in likes. Behind the velvet curtains, courtiers talk openly of the quiet regency. A confidential rota, refreshed weekly, assigns frontline engagements to the Waleses, reserving Charles's dwindling energy for constitutional must-dos and private treatment sessions at the Royal Infirmary. One private secretary told me the rota colours are blunt: red for crown-only tasks still too sacred to delegate, amber for duties William can shoulder with minimal fuss, green increasingly common for appearances Catherine can own outright, often adding a shimmer of glamour that the monarch's current condition forbids. There was a time the palace might have cloaked such evolution in centuries-old protocol, but the TikTok era tolerates no silence. So the comms team does what it must: sugarcoat transition with photo ops and rewind videos, hoping the public gulps it down like Pims on centre court. The gamble appears to be working. July's engagement metrics broke internal records. Average retention on at Kensington Royal's long-form YouTube uploads jumped from 41% to 54%, a spike analysts attribute to Catherine's garden cameo and that unscripted grin George shot the camera after Novak Djokovic's double fault. Numbers flatter, but they also foreshadow. Sustained output at that pace can only mean the heirs are already carrying monarch-level workloads. And what of Charles? Courtiers insist the king remains mentally razor-sharp. Yet off-record, doctors caution that round 4 chemotherapy drains even the hardiest constitution. It's not a scandal, it's biology. Hence the urgency you feel pulsing beneath every Wales appearance. The French embassy dinner ran 15 minutes late because William squeezed in a secure call with Downing Street about grain corridor negotiations. Catherine approved final edits on the July rewind while icing George's birthday cake at 10 past midnight. Their calendars swell because the monarchy cannot shrink. If you are wondering whether this acceleration terrifies them, remember the private moment caught by a boom mic when cameras were, supposedly, off. William exhaled, pinched the bridge of his nose, and murmured to Catherine, "Ready or not, it's on us now." The princess's reply was a whisper equal parts steel and reassurance: "Then we walk one step, one duty, no slips." That clip never surfaced, of course. It lives on a secure server, shown only to staffers who need reminding why perfection is non-negotiable. Therein lies the tension the rewind cannot hide: a youngish couple, clutching 3 school timetables and a head-spinning duty roster, suddenly expected to embody 6 centuries of crown mystique while the sovereign battles cells gone rogue. They're doing it with roses, tiaras, policy videos, and the occasional toddler-toppled hamper because monarchy endures by staging continuity before crisis makes continuity impossible. So when you next scroll past a Kensington highlight reel, don't let the music and slow motion distract you. Hear the subtext. Each frame is a rehearsal for an announcement that could land any year, any season, sooner than protocol wants to admit. The July rewind wasn't nostalgia, it was a briefing. The children's giggles. Brand building. The garden rose. Soft power semaphore. William's Ranger lament. A preview of the global issues throne he's inching toward. The crown, my friends, is not transferred in a single lightning bolt moment. It slides, almost inaudibly, across the velvet cushion, centimeter by centimeter, until one day you look up and realize it sits on a different head. And now it falls to you. Does this silent shift thrill or unnerve you? Do you trust William and Catherine to navigate homelessness, climate front lines, and fracturing Commonwealth ties, all while preserving the fairy tale sheen that keeps cameras clicking? Or do you fear the weight might crack even their practiced smiles? Tell me below. I read every comment, even the late-night scorchers from Perth and Toronto. While you're down there, slam the like button. Each click catapults this channel past the algorithm dragons guarding the royal news dungeon. Subscribe and ring that bell. We're splicing hidden microphone murmurs into next week's upload, and you won't want to miss who called whom a decorative liability behind a marble hall pillar. I'm signing off, but the palace lights rarely dim these days. Somewhere in Windsor a rosebed settles after dawn drizzle, and a future queen whispers tomorrow's battle plan to a prince whose calendar just leapt from busy to historic. Stay tuned, stay curious, and remember, in Royal Britain, what you don't see is the story.